Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My first question is for Dr. Fox. Dr. Fox, on March 11th, ranking members Lofgren, Sykes, and I sent a letter to Acting Administrator Petra requesting the agency reorganization plan, otherwise known as the RIF plan, that NASA sent to OMB on March 20th. While NASA did respond to our letter, we did not receive answers to our questions, nor did we receive the initial plan. As the committee with jurisdiction over NASA, it is imperative that Congress obtain the necessary information to carry out our oversight responsibilities. To that end, I hope that you can help us understand the status of DOGE-induced workforce reductions and their impacts. How many Science Mission Directorate or SMD personnel have you lost through the fork in the road, deferred early retirement, and is their administrative leave being paid for by SMD?
Thank you so much for the question. I'll have to take that for the record and get the numbers back for you. I don't have the full numbers going into the centers for each of the science workforce, but we'll be happy to return that for you as soon as we can.
Thank you. Will you commit to reporting back to the committee within 2 weeks with those answers to these questions?
Yes, we will.
Thank you very much. Dr. Denevi, the National Academy's Decadal Survey on Planetary Science recommended that NASA carry out a medium-class mission to collect high-value samples on the south pole of the moon, and that NASA use CLIPS, a CLIPS lander, to deliver the sample return rover. Is the CLIPS program ready for a mission of this nature, and to what extent would such a mission demonstrate U.S. leadership in lunar sample return?
Yes, you're right. This is some of the most...
Excuse me for 1 second. Would you mind moving your microphones closer? We've been told by C-SPAN that each of you all would be beneficial if you can move your microphones closer. That'd be fantastic, and you'll still have plenty of time. Yes. Please.
Yes, this was deemed the highest science priority for several past decadal surveys to understand the most ancient large impact basin on the moon. And so in the last decadal survey, it was a recommendation to explore across that basin and collect a suite of samples, bring those to Artemis astronauts for return. I think that CLIPS will be ready because there is a evolving program now, and we can see that as these companies are learning and growing, we expect that they will be ready to provide and to deliver on the most important science goals for NASA's science program.
Thank you. Mr. Thornton, your written statement details how NASA across its field centers provides unique expertise, facilities, and technical capabilities such as sensor technology, landing algorithms, and test fixtures in supporting CLIPS vendors. As you are aware, NASA, like other federal agencies, has been directed to plan for wide-scale RIFs. What would be the impact on your company's CLIPS activities of not having access to NASA's assets and expertise?
Well, the space community is a small, tight-knit group that really builds on each other's successes. We're up against the most challenging environment known to man, and it is due to NASA's support over many, many years and all of the technologies that came together that we are standing here today as CLIPS companies. Before CLIPS, there was a program called Catalyst where NASA personnel were helping build the architectures for commercial landers. There's countless technologies across the agency that have contributed to the landers that we all fly. And including contributing to the next big things, like setting up power grids on the surface of the moon are paramount, and we're relying on technology that's sourced from NASA Glenn for exactly that. So there's bits and pieces from every single bits of the center that contributes to that. And then the other half of it is the science and the demand side of it. The way we're going to determine the resources, the way we're going to determine how much quantity and where these hotspots are on the surface of the moon is the fundamental science, is the ability to go and do these experiments, and you need robust support for exactly that.
Mr. Altemus and Mr. Kim, would you care to comment?
I would agree that conducting a mission to the moon is not a single company endeavor. It is actually using multiple government agencies. It's using international cooperation for large radio astronomy dishes to get the communications out to the moon. So it's a global integrated effort to fly a mission to the moon. We used Johnson Space Center, Marshall Space Flight Center, Glenn Research Center, Langley Research Center, Ames Research Center, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, all as a aids to help us get our missions off the ground and successfully to the surface of the moon. And so they've been a tremendous partner and support. This public-private partnership is what the shoulders of the NASA's accomplishment is what we stand upon, and it's the way we're able to land on the surface of the moon as a commercial company today.
Mr. Kim.
Congresswoman, I would agree with my panelists that it's always a team and a partnership. The public-private partnership fared well for our Blue Ghost 1 mission. We actually environmentally tested the Blue Ghost lander at Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. And my hearts go out to everybody that were suffering from the fires in January. That was all going on during our launch campaign. And I personally lived in California for 22 years, and I watched all the daring missions that JPL did. And so I'm a big fan of JPL. We continue to license products from JPL. There's a lot of great minds from JPL as well. So we would like to continue to work with centers like JPL across the nation.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. With that, she yields back.